We have made it to the end of part 2 of Never Let Me Go. Part 2, chapter 17 is really a turning point, not only for Ruth and Tommy's relationship, but for Kathy and Tommy's relationship. So here I kind of just want to do a little arrow, and we're going to say Kathy and Tommy. Okay, so at this point, I think, do we see Ruth mature? This is kind of questionable, but it's interesting to hear from Ruth in this chapter because she's kind of accepting of what's happening. She knows that Tommy and her don't really have the best relationship anymore, and she sees that Kathy and Tommy are really getting along. So if you look on page 200, we're followed up with Kathy bringing up to Ruth that she thinks Tommy isn't really feeling very well. He's just not having the best time. And you know what? Ironically, Ruth says, "I think you're right," she said in the end. "I've been thinking about it a lot too." And she goes on and she kind of says, I think Tommy feels a certain way about you, but it wouldn't be right not to have told you. I knew you'd take it the wrong way. What you've got to understand, though, is that he thinks the world of you. He really does. So what is it about this situation that we don't know, right? Maybe Tommy does like Kathy more than Ruth. We just don't know. Another thing that I thought was interesting. So we talk about this word donor. Okay, so we have these clones. They are donors. I just have to add a thought here. Isn't it a little bit brutal that they use the word donate in the novel? I mean, it kind of implies that they're willingly volunteers. They're willingly donating their organs. But while they may believe in their destiny or their purpose, myths, I don't get the sense that they have any choice at all in the matter. It's kind of amazing how powerful language is and how using euphemistic terms like donor for this practice satisfies really the morals of both the recipients and the donor. I just think that's kind of interesting. Another thing I want to point out at this point is if they are clones, if they do become donors, why does it even matter if they learn, if they have to finish this essay? What is the point of that? At the end of this chapter, we find out that Kathy goes to Kefir and she wants to be a carer. So here I kind of made a little bit of a life cycle, if you want to call it that, not really a cycle. So they're cloned, which we don't see that part of the novel, but they become cloned. They go to Hailsham. They graduate Hailsham. They write their essay. They move to the cottages. They can either become a carer or go straight to being a donor, or become a carer, go to be a donor, and then their life ends after a couple rounds of donations. So moving into part 3, we're going to see present time. So we're going to see Kathy as a carer and how that's been going for her.